All right, what we're going to cover here is a little knife sheath that is rather complicated, but simple if you take it piece by piece. We're going to go through a long button knot on the main part of it. Then we're going to have a 6 or 8 string flat braid on the back side. And then we're going to have a keeper loop, which is another braid, combines two of them on the front side of it. So that's what we're headed for. The first part of this, we're going to make a 4-bite. So we're going to have a 4-bite long button. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and I've wrapped these 3 times. So you're going to show up with 3 X's, 1 on the back and 2 on the front. And this is what your spacing is going to look like when you get to the place where we're going to stop braiding on it. And we'll have a 4-bite. Now the reason we're only going to have a 4-bite is because we're going to need a lot of strings down here to braid the belt loop with. So when we get done with the 4-bite, the strings that we'll have left showing are right here. So all of these strings have to end up on one side of our braiding up here. So that's why we're only doing a 4-bite, and then we're adding strings to get our 5th bite and our 6th bite. So the way we do that is we make our 4-bite, and then we come back, and when we're adding strings, we're going to add one more in between these 2 strings that are down here, and you would add the 5th bite just the same as you would if you came around with your tail and continued for your 5th bite. But this is going to be a brand new string, so you take it up and around, and when you get back down, you're going to have 2 more strings added to it. Then for your 6th bite, you're going to take another string and add it to it alongside this one. It'll come up and around and do its trip. So that then you'll end up with 6 to 8 strings. You'll end up with 6 strings down here. Now to get 8, we're going to add an interweave in there, and it'll come around and it's going to pass 6 times, and when it comes out down here, then you'll have 8 strands. Now on these strands, you're going to want 18 inches of tail. So that's going to go into your calculation of the string lengths. So and the only way that I gauged the string length was made one complete circle, and it took about 11 inches, plus 18 and 18 is 36. So your first strand is going to be 18 and 36 inches, or 11. Got 4 bites, so 4 times 11 is 44, plus 36 inches of tail. Okay, and then now the last one, or your intermediates that makes your 5th and your 6th, they're only going to go around once, so you'll have 11 inches plus 36. You'll have 2 of those strings, and your interweave is going to go around 6 times, so 6 times 11 is 60. You'll be 66 plus your 36 inches of tail down here. All right, now mine, I have to do this in a couple of parts in Wyoming because it's so dry, and I keep try and keep them soaped up, but it still dries out. So I'll put these to rest. And then when I'm ready to do the 8-strand flat braid right there, then I take it down in an hour, 2 hours, or whatever. I come back and I start on this 8-strand, and then my strings are reseasoned, and this is an 8-strand flat braid, and when I get down, when I start here, I'm going to turn this over to Mike, swinging over here. He's braiding away. And he's going to, I've got this one set up right, and he has a really good explanation of how you end up right here to start this braid in his book, this book of his, on page 88 are most of the directions for this, not on the main part, but what he's doing right now. And he'll end this how it starts right here. On mine, it came out backwards, and I just couldn't figure out, my mind wouldn't let me do it backwards. So I held it up to a mirror, took a picture of this in the mirror, and that swapped everything around, and it worked out just right. He's going to show you how to do it right.
Oh, I am. Okay, I'm just doing it a little bit longer so that you'd want to have this long enough that you have a little sticking up and come down, and your knot's right there. To do a mid keeper, you take the strand from the left, you just bring it around your mandrel, but in this case it's your knot, around, and then you just start braiding it on this side. So it's over one, under one, over one, under one, all the way down through, so that it matches the braid in your flat braid. Now we take the top strand on the other side, and we're going to go over the string that we brought. Hold the book up here. So the first move was this one. We just went around and we did the braid. Now we're taking this one, we're going over there, and then on this side we're going to go under it so that we can continue our braid. And here's our braid. Over, under, over, under. And that gives you an over one, under one, 2-strand braid with 2 bites. Okay, we're going to take the top strand on the left. We're going to follow this string, so we're doing this move. Under, over. And then I've got to do so that was my under, over. Now we're doing an over, under, following this strand. That got us to the other side. So that was, now we did that move and that move. Now we do our braid, under, over, under, over. That laid our tracks. So now we take the top string on our right, and we're going to split our tracks right here, over, under, over, under, over. Now we're going to have to pick up this outside bite that's under, which is right there. And we go over, under, which is all that move right there in figure 6. Now we can do our braid. Over, under, over, under. And that finishes a 4-part knot, which is not big enough for our keeper, so we grab the next top one. We go in alongside of here, following the strand on our left, or on our right, under, over, under, over. That was figure 7. Following this strand with so we went over and then we're going over again. So it's over, under, over, under. That got us clear through. That should be figure 8. And like Nick said, when he braided his first one, he had his braid to where it was under on this side and over on this side. So he just held that up to a mirror, took a picture of it in the mirror and followed it. So if that happens to you, that is what you can do. Okay, so under, I'm just catching my braid up, under, over, under, over. And that's got our tracks laid. So now we're going to split our tracks with the top strand on the right. So it's just over, under. And it's set figure number 9. Over, under. I know you can't see it in the camera because I got it turned. There you go. Over, under. It's got kind of a funny point on it. That string's a little lighter too. Okay, this bite is slid down, so we got to pick it up so that we can get under it into our tracks, and that would be shown right there in figure 10. And over, under. And you can braid it a little tighter than I am so that you don't have to pull it down much, but you can't hardly tie this knot tight to where you don't have to go back and pull it down. So when you get to this point, you go back and just tighten your knot down so it's snug on the knife, and I would put the knife in the knot so that it's the proper size. But that finishes our mid keeper. I just got to catch up my braid so that my braid is all over, one under, one in the back.
And while Mike's braiding it, I know I just mentioned it, but before you start this flat braid, you want to drop your knife in there and pull your strings down, snug it up around that knife, and then with everything that's left, then you start your flat braid and then it'll fit your knife.
And the number of times you do that determines the size of your knot so that it fits around your knife. And what you would do now is, I just straightened that because it had a little twist in it. I just start here and I'd pull these all down, all the way around, and then I'd start on this side, pull these down and all the way around. But that does your mid keeper. To finish the knife sheath,
Yeah, where's our finished product?
braid past the little waist, and you've got 4 strands on this side, 4 strands on that side. Just tie a 4-strand rosebud, and that finishes your sheath.
And that's about it for that knife keeper.
And they fit just right on your belt, so you can just, they're just handy.